Hey, and welcome to Beauty Beyond Blemishes, a Jade Alycia Beauty original podcast, Season 1, Episode 2. This one's called Jade's Skin Story. Let's listen in. Alright guys, it's Episode 2, and we are diving in deep already. Today I'm just going to be sharing my skin story about what I went through. And so I guess let's start. My skin was always really clear until about 15. So that was like high school. I remember being in high school with all the kids and everything, and like my skin just started breaking out really bad, like specifically on my cheeks, my nose. Like I would just get so many breakouts. And it was to the point where, like, I needed something to help me to stop breaking out. So my mom, she scheduled for me to go to a dermatologist. And literally, it came out of nowhere, I can say. Because prior to that, my skin was always clear. It was always good. But it was like, soon as I hit, like, 15, everything was, like, out of whack. So I went to a dermatologist. We tried so many different things. I remember getting like a spray on my face that I always liked getting because it would let my skin peel afterward, and I always noticed a bit of a difference, but it never completely made all the blemishes go away. We tried topical creams and everything, a whole gamut of those, and it really just dried out my skin. And my skin was already sensitive to products, so then the topicals just made it so irritated and painful, even more painful than with the blemishes. And with my blemishes, I got a lot of redness, so I got a lot of inflammation. So then we opted to try, something that I could take every day on like a monthly cycle that would supposedly help with my acne, which we did try. It did sort of help clear it, but again, it never completely went away. So now we're having all these breakouts. I'm trying different products. I'm trying different ways. Not really seeing many results. At first, I wasn't frustrated because I was like, okay, well, this doesn't work. We're going to try something else. And dermatologists would be like, oh, we'll try this. And if that doesn't work, we'll try this. And then it just came to the point where, years down the road, we had tried everything. And he's like, I really can't figure out, why your acne won't clear up. But we do see that it is improving, but it's still not clear. And so at this point, I've gone through high school, and I am now graduating my senior year, and it is time now for me to go to college. So because I'm going to college out of state, I realized that, I'm not going to be able to visit the dermatologist as often, if at all, and I need something that's manageable for my skin, so that I can sort of maintain these breakouts, but hopefully they will dissipate and dissolve eventually, because that's what the dermatologist was telling me. He was just like, oh, you're just going through, a flare-up period in your teens, and then as you continue to age, you will grow out of it and it will dissipate. So my last ditch effort, I remember one of my neighbors that used to live near me was telling me about this upcoming skincare brand. It was sort of like, oh gosh, I can't remember, but it was sort of like, the first thing that comes to my mind is like Curology. It was sort of like that, but it wasn't named that. But it was those type of products. And they were looking for skincare models, people that had really, bad acne, to come and be a model for their test trials. So I was like, literally nothing else is working. I've tried changing my diet, eating more healthy. I've tried drinking more water. I've tried so many different things, the topicals, the sprays, the peels, the different skincare medicated products that they were giving me, and then nothing was working. Only thing that I was managing to do for my skin was to make it more sensitive than it already was, and break out more and more irritated, and just I couldn't even, got to the point where like sometimes I wouldn't even want to touch my skin because just to touch it would hurt. So I was like, all right, this is sort of like my last ditch effort to try to get clear skin, because maybe there's something they're just not seeing or some way that they're not aware of that maybe the skin trial would help me do. And it was also right before I would leave for college. So it was either you want to do it or you don't. So I was like, okay, let's go for it. I mean, I literally have nothing to lose at this point. And over that period of time, so that over that 4 years I was in high school, I was able to teach myself how to do my own makeup. My mom taught me how to do my makeup as well. She helped me out a lot. And I was just sort of playing around in makeup. So that's sort of how I would cope through this time, because I always felt like everyone was looking at my acne. And I knew that everybody wasn't, but because I was always looking at people's skin and how clear and nice it was, and like they didn't have to wear makeup, and you know, if they might have 1 or 2 blemishes, and I always felt like, why do I have all these blemishes? I can't get rid of them. I've literally tried everything. Super frustrated, really disappointed. My skin is more sensitive now and irritated now than it was before. And I just sort of felt trapped, you know, in that space. So when I would go out, I would be looking at other people's skin. And so I always felt like people would be naturally looking at my skin. Even though I had makeup on, I always felt like they're looking at all my breakouts, you know, they're looking at all my imperfections, and their skin is just so nice, right? So going back to this skin trial, I ended up contacting the company, and they were like, oh, we would love to have you for the skin trial. And so I would go with my mom in New York, and I did this 3 times. And what was cool about this experience was they gave you like a camera. So you would film, you know, your progress on your own. They would give you the products, and then I think it was over like a month's period, you would film your progress every day, every week, whenever you used the products. And then you would eventually at the end, you know, turn over all your footage to them. They would use it for their marketing purposes or research or whatever. So I remember going the first time. I actually really liked it. They were really, really nice. They gave me the products. I was excited. Because it was like the camera part to it. I thought that was like super cool. Like I get to film this and capture this. And I used the products. And I was like, I hope these work. Like this is like the only hope I have left, is if these products work. And so I remember trying the products, and I was like, this doesn't work. And at this point, I was like, they're just drying out my skin. It's not doing anything for me. My skin is tight. It's dry. It's flaking now. It hurts. And these products are way too powerful. So I remember going into freshman year of college, just literally feeling fed up about my skin situation, my skin issues, my skin problems. And so I would just put my energy into other things, into designing, because I'm really into fashion. I put all of my effort there because that's what I was majoring in as well, fashion design and my studies. And I really put all my energy into just making real authentic relationships and connections with people, not worrying about my skin, not worrying about, you know, if they're looking at me or not. I just found some inner confidence in myself that said, you know what, whether my skin is completely blemished or whether it's completely clear, I'm still going to be beautiful. I'm still going to be confident. And I'm still going to walk around with my head held high, because that's how I should feel. And so I did that. And doing that, I created so many amazing relationships with people throughout my college time. But I do remember really being able to relate to other people, other friends and stuff about skin, just breaking out. They were breaking out. I was breaking out. We were like, we're having a breakout together. Like, it became a much lighter subject for me once I went to college and was able to find people that were going through these skin problems as well. So I ended up staying at that college for 2 years, which was at a state college. It was in Boston. And then I would transfer to Montclair State University back in my hometown of Montclair, New Jersey. The reason why I went out of state is a whole nother story, but basically I just wanted to get out of Jersey and explore. So I ended up going to Boston, but I ended up going there for 2 years and I came back to New Jersey. Now, interestingly enough, my second year at school in Boston, I noticed two things. One, I noticed that my skin started clearing up. Now, I had done nothing different. I had stripped the super strict diet because at this point I felt like it didn't matter if I was eating sugar, it didn't matter if I was eating vegetables, it didn't matter if I was eating fruit, if I was drinking a ton of water, I was still breaking out the same. So in that aspect, I was frustrated and I was just like, you know what, the heck with this. I only live once, so I'm going to enjoy what I want to enjoy. And so I noticed my skin started clearing up, literally out of nowhere. And even my mom noticed too, because I would FaceTime her and she was like, Jade, you know your skin is clearing up. And I'm like, yeah, I noticed and I don't know what it is, but it just started clearing up out of nowhere because all this time it's been breaking out of nowhere and now it's clearing up and I'm so happy. And I remember feeling like such a sense of hope and freedom once my skin started clearing up. I felt like, oh my gosh, this is finally happening for me. Like, it's finally my turn. And I was happy. And so I started not wearing as much makeup. I started really just becoming more comfortable looking at myself without makeup, becoming more comfortable hanging out with friends with no makeup. And I also noticed in that time that I was able to really see what worked for my skin. I knew harsh chemicals didn't work well on my skin. I knew moisturizers that weren't intense in hydration, ones that were really thick, creamy, just sat on your skin didn't work for me. So I was able to really see what I needed for my skin, prescribe what I knew worked on my skin. It was almost like I became my own dermatologist. I knew that certain ingredients on my skin would dry it out, so I stayed away from those type of skincare products. And I started going for like stuff that was marketed as, good for your skin, natural, not something that gave you an instant result, like so many things that we see that have harsh chemicals in it, but stuff that was more natural, more lightweight, less damaging to my skin. And once I was able to find that, I started experimenting with different brands, different name brands that I knew fell into like that sort of a category. And I started using their products. But what I would find in using their products is that they would work well to help maintain my skin, keep it healthy, keep it from breaking out as often as it did. It helped me contain the breakouts. But I noticed that it was still something missing. Like they were supposedly natural, but they weren't really authentically natural, if that makes sense. A lot of skincare brands, like they say, oh, we use aloe in our stuff. But when you're looking at all the rest of the ingredients that they put into the skincare, a lot of those ingredients were then irritating my skin. So the good that the aloe did was far overshadowed by the bad that everything else that was in there that was doing. And so the next couple of years, as I had transferred over to Montclair State University, I was really finding this out on my own. But what intrigued me there it was my senior year, I believe, or junior year, getting ready for my senior year. my last year in college, right? And I'm like, you know what? For some reason, I can't even remember how I came across this, but I had found a makeup artistry program that was offered through Montclair State by Bobbi Brown Cosmetics. And in Montclair, New Jersey is where Bobbi Brown had her flagship store, and that's where the classes were. And I literally lived 5 minutes away from there. So I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool to learn how to do people's makeup, because I was confident in doing my own makeup, but I wasn't confident in doing makeup on other people. And I really found makeup to be such a confidence outlet for me when I was going through, my skin issues. So makeup helped me a lot. And so I really wanted to learn how to help other women that were going through that, or young ladies that would go through the same thing I went through, just to help them get through that stage in their skin until it clears up. So I was like, I was told it was a really competitive program. You have to have a certain amount of credits. You actually have to meet certain criteria in order to get in. But with even knowing all of that, I was like, I still want to do it. So I submitted an application into the program, and I got accepted. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's highly selective, and it's literally right there. So it was perfect for me. And for the last senior year of mine, I would be taking makeup courses, and I was taught, how to do skincare and different skincare products, and how to make your makeup look really natural, how to match the skin tones and all of that. How to do different skin types, different skin textures, what colors look best on which complexions, how to cover up blemishes, all of that. So I was learning all of that at the flagship store, and that's really where a lot of my foundation is from in makeup artistry and in skincare, other than personal experience. And so when I graduated with my certification in makeup artistry and with my degree in fashion design, is really where this whole thing took off and started sort of snowballing. And that's going to be the next episode, me sharing with you guys how Jade Alycia Beauty all really started. It was definitely an unconventional beginning, I'll say that much, but it was a fun experience. So much that went into it. But that is my skin story. So that's what I went through, and how I'm able now, when I create products, to know what people need, know what people want, know what people are going through, and to let you guys know that I have sensitive skin. I went through the whole acne thing. I also had eczema on certain parts of my skin. So I completely understand and relate to you guys. Thank you for listening to Beauty Beyond Blemishes. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Let us know what you think about the episode over on our Instagram at Beauty Beyond Blemishes. We would like to give a huge shout out to our natural skincare brand, Jade Alycia Beauty. And until next time, love the skin you're in.